Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. The Vosganian is here.
The Vosganian. It sounds so ominous.
Doesn't it? It sounds like, I don't know, like it's a Viking kind of sounding thing in some way, right?
And not quite Viking.
And then the Vosganians took over Central Europe.
The Armenians are not known for taking over anything.
No,
unfortunately.
You wanted, you could have it.
Take
it.
We conquered a lot. We didn't take over. We were taken over.
Oh, hi. Welcome to our interview. This is Chuck Vosganian, who's the founder of the Rochmon Record Club. And if you follow this program at all, you already know Chuck, and you already know Rochmon Record Club. We ask Chuck to come in every month prior to the presentation of Rochmon Record Club to give you a sneak preview on what album Chuck is going to cover, and maybe a couple little stories that you never heard before. Coming up is one of the seminal albums of its time period, Derek and the Dominos.
Derek and the Dominos, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I did it. So we chose this specifically. I gave, every month we give the record club a chance to choose the next month's album.
One, yeah, sure.
And I put up Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, and Derek and the Dominoes, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs against each other. And there was no clapping for Meatloaf. I'm sorry, Meat, but there was no clapping for Meatloaf. It went right to Layla.
It went to right to Derek and the Dominoes.
Derek and the Dominoes.
I'm going to set the stage for you. Beginning of 1970s. The 60s were behind us. The 70s were exploding in many different ways. Drugs, ego, and money were driving some of the musicians that had really defined the 60s into collaborations that you would never expect, relationships that you would never expect, albums that you would never expect. And I think arguably Derek and the Dominoes is really a culmination of what I just said.
Absolutely. And one of the overriding things of Derek and the Dominoes, of course, is Eric Clapton. And Eric Clapton is one of those guys that we like to say, my friends and I like to say, an egomaniac with an inferiority problem.
Yeah, right.
You know, he did not think he was worthy.
Yeah.
They were calling him
God.
Clapton as God.
I know.
And he did not want to be referred to that, but he played with the gods. You know, he played with every seminal band from the English blues. From
you could be the Yardbirds,
John Mayall and the Blues Breakers,
right.
Cream,
right.
And Clapton will say that he was a millionaire by the time he was 21, and he had already figured out that money and things weren't going to make him happy. Drugs, however, somehow he didn't have that same idea about drugs and alcohol and women.
I want to trace this again. We went by it very quickly. But one of the bands that defined the 60s, not as big as the Stones or the Beatles or the Who, were the Yardbirds.
Yeah.
The Yardbirds were this cutting-edge distortion rock, pushing the edges, based in the blues kind of a thing. Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton were all guitarists inside this one band, the Yardbirds. So, Eric Clapton had that to his credit. He was Cream. You don't get any bigger than Cream. Blind Faith, which I think was the band right before he decided to say, okay, I'm doing all this. What have I not done?
Right.
And then boom, here comes Derek and the Dominoes. You could say that Eric Clapton dominated Derek and the Dominoes, but Bobby Whitlock you got to go there.
Yeah, Bobby Whitlock had such one of the things that Clapton wanted is he wanted into that American blues, the American blues, not British blues, the American blues, and he wanted that deep South blues sound, the gospel sound. He wanted what he had gotten from Delaney and Bonnie when he toured with them. He made a great live album, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, featuring Eric Clapton. Was a great live album with a lot of great songs on it, and really awesome performances. And Whitlock is on that album. That's where he met Whitlock, and Whitlock brought this gritty, deep, soulful gospel sound, and Clapton who really didn't like his vocals at all, didn't like his singing, had that reedier, thinner voice. But man, when their voices mix, it's just unbelievable.
Well,
so
you know
powerful.
what? We're going right down the same pipe here, because everybody knows that album for Layla, but Why Does Love Have to Be So Sad?
Oh, my God.
I mean, this is a song that when you listen to it, it's raw, it's direct, and this amazing combination of Bobby Whitlock, this organ player, not piano player, organ player, with Clapton over it, and the power of their two voices together.
Yeah.
And you know it was take one.
Yeah, oh,
you know what
absolutely,
I mean?
Absolutely.
Nobody said, hey, excuse me, could you just change the phrase in the third verse or something?
Yeah.
It started, and it was full bore until it ended. And the album's like that.
Yeah, the album's like that. And every song has that kind of immediacy and that live sound to it. You know, I talk about in the presentation that I had several cassette tapes of Derek and the Dominos that Layla recorded, and I put at the beginning of each one, I put "Why Does Love Have Got to Be So Sad?" Because I love that song so much.
Yes.
To me, best, like we were talking about earlier, best song on the album.
Yes, right.
And that's saying a lot because Layla's on that record.
Well, you know, as usual, Chuck and I, they're telling us in the control room, all right, guys, time to wrap it up. And in a way, I'm disappointed, but in a way, I'm glad, because there are secrets about Layla. And who wrote what in Layla?
Yeah.
Who played what? What influence Duane Allman of the Allman Brothers had, and the relationship between Eric Clapton and Greg Allman. And these are the things that we're not going to talk about, and you're going to have to go to Rochmon to see it.
And almost as good, why the name Layla? Where that
came
from.
That's great too.
Which is a great story
that's
as well.
Right.
So it's all good. It's all so much fun, and we have such a great time.
Now look, Rochmon is at Caffe Lena in Saratoga. I remember we joke about this. I was at the first Rochmon, and it was me and a couple of guys that were looking for the mission, and and now there's lines around the corner.
Yeah.
So it's Tuesday, the 20th, next Tuesday.
February 20th.
Tuesday the 20th. 6:30, right?
6:30 are doors, but I really suggest that people get there early. We do open the stairs going up to Caffe Lena, so you don't have to stand in the elements. You can be in a nice, heated, dry space. Good. But I do suggest people get there early.
Good.
To queue up.
Please do that. It's Derek and the Dominos. You could probably tell from the way we're talking about it, this album really defined a lot of things in that time period.
Absolutely.
Great to see you, Chuck.
Always good to see you.
And of course, I'll see you at Derek and the Dominos.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jesse.
You're welcome.
I got you.
To see this interview again, you can go to our website, looktvonline.com. Dum, 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 dum.